welcome back. We're getting ready to start operating round one after finishing the third stock round. I did take the time off camera to reorganize the money. And so for example, DSJ had just this giant stack of money. So now we have it separated. And if I actually own a miner company, I put all the money over on the miner because it just clears up the real estate so we can see what kind of trains we have and maybe not bump our tokens so much. You can see DSJ only has 2 tokens left, so there's a lot of tokens on the board. And so, just minor things like that. And I did the same thing over here. In fact, so for example, we can take RCP and actually move his money over here. So it's a little bit more sanity in terms of seeing his money. And same for Bell. We can do something similar and see that he has only a 3 train for Bell. And in fact, you weren't able to see what I was just doing. So you can see Bell only has a 3 train there. Okay, so it's time to pay our weenies. It's privates. So starting with us, we get, we still have our privates, so 25, 40 bucks. By the next stock round, we will not have this money anymore because we're going to close our companies. It'll be more important to own stock than it will be to own these companies. But for now, we get the money. And I'm going to pause real quick. Something else happens. So just make sure you can see the track there. GWR is sold out completely, so it moves up. DSJ is sold out completely, so it moves up. MZA is not, MKB is not, KBS is not, Chin, Plum, MSP is sold out completely. So you can see they're starting to separate. Lawnmower is sold out completely, so it moves up. And if I'm not mistaken, that should be the only companies that are sold out completely at this point in time. MZA is close. There is 1 share of MZA. And in fact, Medici might do something and make a move. He could have sold some shares, but the thing is he would have sold shares of this, or this, or this, and they're all very valuable. So as much as he would like to get his MZA going, he didn't know what to sell a share of. I guess he could have sold a share of his SFR, but that's his own company. Anyways, there's some dynamics there. So let's go around and continue paying everybody. And yes, all these tokens, they all go off the board. So I'll just shove them down like so. Okay, and there's no regionals, so we're going to be starting right on the stock. So we come over to here. He still has both of his companies for 25. So we'll give that to DeGaulle. And then we are in the brown trains. So it is $50 to the K company. And since Bell now owns the K company, Bell gets the $50. So we'll give that to him. Like so. So swing on around. I know Mr. Troikovsky just has this one company, but it's still $20 for him. And then we come down to here. White Cliffs Ferry is 15. And yes, that's his money. I didn't sort out BHB's money. I should have. And BHB's money is going to be over here on D. So you want to bet any money, I'm going to forget that. I put it over here. But for now, that's where it is. And I would swear BHB had more money than that, but I don't think it does. So that's it for BHB. That's not a lot of money for BHB. Just $300. I mean, for buying 1, 2, 3 shares at $120 each, so there's 1, 2, 3, 20, 20, and I guess, yeah, that makes sense. I thought I really think that money there is BHB's money, but then where is Mr. Wellington's money? I think these 50s belong to him. Mr. Wellington didn't have enough money to buy another share. And he just got $15. My apologies. I think I screwed something up. I'll give $50 back to Mr. Wellington because it is possible he had $55 because I know he couldn't afford any more shares. That's the whole reason you pass. But I just think D had some money, and there were 3 shares bought at it was $110 a share. So 300, 10, 20, 30. You know what? That is, yeah, we're gonna leave it at that because I don't think he had $100. Oh yeah, he did have $100. He had $105. Okay, we're gonna this was right. That's right. Let's move on. Oh yeah. Okay, $10 for, sorry about that, Mr. Medici, who really is low. And we start off with GWR. There is a ton of work to do now that the brown trains have been unlocked. So with the brown trains, GWR is the government company. And so you would think, okay, we're doing great because everything's upgraded. But that's not true at all anymore. So first thing we want to do is let's get the Metropolis upgraded. So Birmingham is going to be upgraded for 4 points. And then London is in here somewhere. And we're going to upgrade that for another 4 points. So that's now 8 points. And I hope you're able to see without my hand in the way. So we just upgraded both of those. That was 8 of our track points, and we only have 1 more for 9 track points. And so we don't want to waste track points, of course, but I'm reaching across the map here, and we're just going to lay a whistle stop. Now GWR, what does he have train-wise? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like before. So it's a 9 plus 9. And let's figure this out. So we have London is now a $90 space. So 90 for London, 50 for the Scottish Highlands, that's 2. $40 for the 2 Y cities, so that's 4. Then 80 for Birmingham is 5. And then 3 times 30 for the other regular cities. So that's 390. And then from a whistle stop perspective, we're definitely just going to add 90 in whistle stops, and then 30 more for the Pullman. So that's 510. I would swear to you, I thought we got 510 last time, but maybe we didn't. But that's 510 for a government, which is pretty darn good. There is so much to upgrade now. Everything needs to go brown. And so this is one of the challenges of being the government that goes first. Had Lawnmower gone first, he could have upgraded some stuff and then helped the government along. So the government has a lot of work to do. There's so much more potential to make more money. But at 51 a share, he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares. So 51 times 7 We got 357 going to Mr. Wellington, and the rest, 153, is going to go to Medici. So let's pay Medici first. 155, and we'll put $2 back. And then 357 for Wellington. So 357 Magnum. And there we go. Okay, so now is the really tough decision. We're on the 5 trains. Okay, that's not an issue. They just got unlocked at the end of the last phase. So as you can see, the brown tokens are just barely trickling out. And I'll show you real quick the dilemma that we're going to have. The 5 trains are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 of them. That's it. And then as soon as someone buys a 6th train, the 3 trains are going to melt. So our situation is, should we start buying some 3 trains? Because chances are, by the time it's his turn again, those 3 trains will have been melted. Now, the drawback to that is if we buy 3 trains, obviously we get some good money. That helps. But the bad part is we're going to not be able to run our trains and make as much money for our companies. So the companies themselves will not make as much. So I know you can't see it from here, but looking over at that stock board, Lawnmower has not done an OE run yet. And so it's, there's that big stack of chips, remember? They're all going to get to take a turn. Lawnmower is way behind, okay? And then BHB is even further behind. So in terms of turn order, they're near the bottom of the pack. And so they're not going to get to go very quickly. And so there's a good chance those 3 trains are going to be melted before then. So we can actually try to be a little smart about this, and let's do that. So DSJ is 1, MSP is 2. This is a government. That's a government. KBS is 3. Chin is 4. Plum is 5. SFR is 6. SFAI is 7. That's the 7 5 trains purchased that are left, assuming that they each buy one. So they could all buy one, and then Lawnmower will get to take a turn. And he would actually be the one that would decide whether or not he's going to buy a 6th train, which would then cause everything else to melt. Now, BHB would not get to go because Lizard gets to go before BHB, and both of these get to go before. In fact, BHB is the very last company in the game to go. C is over there. And then on top of that, I forgot to let C decide if he's going to go first, and C will go first. Because C wants to go before the trains melt. And C is RCP. See, RCP is way down here. He wants to go before all the 3s disappear. So he's going to go first. And it's not going to impact GWR's turn, so we don't have to worry about that. But we're going to make sure that RCP goes next. So that means RCP might even buy a train. And the trains will be all purchased before Lawnmower gets to go. That's a huge dilemma. And so we're going to take the gamble that those 3s are going to disappear. In fact, BHB may be stuck. He has a ton of money. I mean, well, he doesn't have a ton of money, but he has good money. BHB may be unable to even do a run because these trains might be gone before it's even his turn. So that is a very bad situation, and BHP would actually, it's really funny because BHP couldn't go major, if you recall. He had to stay a regional because if he would have gone major, the turn order would have screwed him, and he had to be able to buy a 3 train before the other companies went. So by staying as a regional, he's now really far behind all the other companies. And now we're back at the same exact position during the next train melting or rusting. And he is once again in a turn order situation that's going to hurt him. So this is a bad cycle, and it's pretty common in this game to encounter that. And there's not much you can do. So one of the things you can do is, as a government, we can buy the 3 trains from the other companies. And remember, we bought this 4 train with Lawnmower to give to him because we knew he needed help. But I can't give a train to him. It's a purchase. So BHP has to wait until it's his turn, and then he can buy a 4 train from Lawnmower. It's not the other way around. So first things first, Lawnmower is going to sell one of his 3 trains to here. And when these trains do melt, by the way, the Lawnmower is going to be reduced down to being able to only have 2 trains, and the governments will be reduced to only being allowed to have 3 trains. So that is the situation. And so in doing so, we're going to replace this 2 train with the 3 he just purchased. And I'm just going to set it off to the side. And we're going to buy one of the 3s from BHP for the same reason. And so he now has 3 trains, which is pretty good. And this will be a 369 again, just like you saw last time. If somehow the 6 train is never purchased, this will be a 369 1011, which is even better, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. So we take half the money. It's what? It's about $112. So $112 goes to him. And then $112 goes to Lawnmower. And Lawnmower is just, that's a big stack of hundreds there. Lawnmower is in fantastic shape. But BHP, not so much. Okay, now his turn's over. So let's move on to DSJ. DSJ has a lot of work to do. So we moved him up on the stock track, and now DSJ is up. So DSJ has a whole bunch of things in store. First of all, his trains. He has a 3, a 4, and a 3. So he's going to have an amazing run. That's the first thing. He also has a +1/+1. So we're going to do fantastic. The one thing that's going to hurt us, though, is he's at his train limit. He can't buy a 4th train. And so he would love to buy one of those permanent trains, that 5+5, but he can't because he has to have room for one. So already one of the 7 companies that could have bought that 5+5 can't. He has the money to. He can even afford to buy one. He still can't do it. So if you remember, he actually ran very poorly because he only had a 3+3, and now he's going to run great. So he's going to make up for the last round. But this is a real situation you're going to encounter in the game, and you're not allowed to just voluntarily get rid of this train to make room for a new one. You can't do that. You saw me do that with the government company, yes, but you cannot do that with a private company. If you have no room for a train, you cannot buy one. So this is why I need a government, because if I had a government company, my government company would buy those trains from me. And this is also why you can get screwed by rusting, because I have to wait until these 3s rust before I have room to buy more trains. So that's my pickle that I'm in. It's a wonderful pickle to have now. I'm going to have to make the money while I can. But I have 6 track points and I have to spend them wisely. And I think there's a couple of spots that I need to do. I could, for example, do St. Petersburg. That's a wonderful one to do. I can do Constantinople, another wonderful one, but I'm going to bank on the fact that other people will upgrade those. I can do the one in England, because that is going to help me, because I'm for sure going through England. And I think the biggest one I need to do is the one in Copenhagen, because I'm the only one that'll upgrade that one. So that'll be 2 of my track points. So then it becomes, do I help Russia or do I help England? And in both cases, I'm helping myself. It's just, which one do I help out with in terms of track points? If Lawnmower were to go, he really would upgrade my spot. I think he would. And he would do it because it helps the government company and it helps himself. So that would not be too big of a debate for him. I'm guaranteeing you that the Russian company will upgrade that. So the only one I know for sure, like I said, is this one. So let's take care of this particular spot in Copenhagen. And my camera stand is a little off. So I apologize for things being a little tilted here. Let me see if I can fix that. Does that help? Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So we have some Y cities, and the Copenhagen one, I think, can handle a 6-sided city. Yes, it can. So we get that in, and that's a nice $60 spot. So very happy about that. The red zones, of course, automatically upgraded. Very happy about that. So where do we upgrade from here? And my thoughts are, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm just lost in deep thought here. I think I'm going to do Constantinople, even though I know everybody would upgrade that one as well. Where am I going to run the most? And I think my answer is St. Petersburg, actually. I would love to run through London a couple of times. I have to buy a I would have to buy a Port Authority token to be able to run through London. I could do it. Yeah, I'm going to let's upgrade St. Petersburg. Final answer. So this is what they look like. In the St. Petersburg, that S on the ACS stands for St. Petersburg. There's a chart you can look at if you ever are unsure. But here's the cool thing about St. Petersburg is I can finally get rid of this nonsense and have a full-blown city. So all 3 of our tokens stay there, but now we can come out in any of the directions. I'm not restricted to only using the track on this side here. And so that means I can use that Archangelisk spot up there, which is a $60 spot. It's not bad. It's not great anymore, but it's still not bad. And so we just made this an $80 run for our spot. So let's remember we have a 3, a 4, and a 3. And we get a 1+1 because of the 1+1 token. So let's start with Constantinople. So from there, that's a $50 city with a $60 bonus. And then we can hit Moscow, and Moscow is now $80. So that's good. And we can hit St. Petersburg, which I just upgraded to $80. So that would be a 3-city. And we actually can hit that little ferry there for a $20 whistle stop. And then the other ones would be $10, so that's $20 more. So my 3 train would be $310. So now I still have a 3 and a 4 to burn. So I'm thinking I could do Archangelisk up there. See that little red zone? I'm still thinking. All right, so you can go 1, 2, 3. That's a nice run because that's an $80 spot right there, that red zone. St. Petersburg is also an $80 spot. So I can use my extra 1 + 1 to do 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across. Then with a 4 train, I can go 1, 2 to Scotland, 3 to London. And it would be really nice if I could go to Birmingham there, but the way the track is laid, it just doesn't allow me to do it. So we screwed up with the way we laid Birmingham. And if I buy a North Seas token, because I have a token in London, so the English channel is free for me. So if I buy a North Seas token, I can go all the way to New York. And I'm going to do that. In fact, that is the right thing to do. So we spend $125, get a North Seas token for DSJ. All right, so we just did a 3 train over here. So now we're going to do another 3 train, but use the 1 + 1 with it. Okay, so we're going to start at St. Petersburg. So we get to add 80 for St. Petersburg. We're going to add 80 for Northern Scandinavia. And then the Copenhagen we just upgraded is 60. And then the last spot is the Narvik coast there, which is another 80. Okay, and then we easily have we have our 4 whistle stops, so that's not an issue either. So we're going to add 40 in whistle stops. So that's a nice 650. And if you're thinking, wow, that's higher than we've ever seen before, you're absolutely right. And I still have another train. That's how amazing this is. So now we're going to do the Narvik again for another 80. And then Scotland is still 40. So that hurts. And then we're going to go to London, which is 90. And then we're going to go to New York, which is 100. Yes, you read that correctly. That is a $100 stop. And then we still have 4 whistle stops we easily hit on that path as well. So it's another 40. And on top of that, we have a Pullman. So we get to add, we have a tech level 4 train. So we're going to add 40 for the Pullman. That is you read that correctly, $1,040, $104 a share. So 104 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shares is 832. And then, of course, it'll be 208 for Mr. Medici. So we just got $832 in personal money. Oh, so now here's the hard choice. 832, we just did okay. If I take the 832, I'm going to be a rich man. All that money goes to me. Eventually, I need to buy a train. And I have $600, and that's enough to buy a 6 train. It's not enough to buy a 7 or an 8 train. A 6 train is good. and I probably will buy one, so that's not a concern. I'm going to half cap. I want to get some more money into the company because this game's not over yet. So that $1,040, all right, I need to clear. I'm holding this camera and trying to do this at the same time. That $1,040, I divide it by 2, and $520 goes into the company. So 1, 2, let's just come over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 goes into the company along with $20 more. So the company just made a lot of money, but even at $520, it still moves up. And then we're going to pay $52 a share. So it should be just half of what we got paid before. So 52 times 8. We're going to get $416, which is still good money. And Medici's amount gets reduced as well. And he's going to get 104. So we hurt him a little bit, but we hurt ourselves too. So 400 $16 to us. $416 for the good guys. And then 104 for Mr. Medici. And I'll just put it on the table right there. Okay, next up is MSP. So actually we can give Mr. Medici his money right now. And remember, we couldn't buy any trains, so we're stuck. We wanted to buy that 5 train, we can't. So we come over to Mr. MSP, and of course he's very happy we upgraded something for him. And he has a lot of upgrades to do. The nice thing about Russia is all these red zones upgraded themselves. This one, of course, isn't quite as good anymore because it's at its max. But we have a 4 train and a 3 train with MSP, so we are sitting in decent situation. And what we're going to do with MSP is upgrade the two Y cities. But the problem is that he's not really using the Y cities because we figured out how to bypass them. So, and actually one of the Y cities in Warsaw is already upgraded. So we're going to come over here and upgrade this Y city that MKV started in for 2 points. That's simple enough to do. And the tokens we're looking for over here. I can tell you there's not as many tokens at the brown and gray level. So these are first come, first serve, and they will go fast. And then for his remaining 4 points, since we upgraded St. Petersburg and he doesn't have to, his only next step is he wants to upgrade Constantinople because he's definitely going to be hitting Constantinople and he wants it to be as much money as possible. So he's allowed to do that because we did St. Petersburg. And I'm just trying to find Constantinople. I just found it. So Constantinople finally looks like something normal. And that means Israel is going to be available to us as soon as we lay tracks to it. So that was his 6 track points. And he has a 4 and a 3. So he's going to do it like a 7 plus 7 again. And he's going to use Copenhagen as his starting point. So Copenhagen is 60 for 1. We're going to use this spot here for 2, which is 80. And then we go to St. Petersburg. Or no, we go here for 60. It's 3. And then St. Petersburg is 80 for 4. Moscow is 80 for 5. And we can do 7. So that Y city we just created will be a nice $60 city for 6. And then Constantinople is 80 plus the $60 bonus for 7. So that's 560. We have a $40 whistle stop here. So that's a $40 whistle stop, and we don't have any of the $20 whistle stops out yet. So we're going to just add $60 more there. So that's 660. And then we have a Pullman for $40 more. So it's a $700 run, $70 a share. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares. So $490 for him. And then I think, yeah, Mr. Wellington owns the other 3. So it'll be $210. So let's get them paid. So $400. I'm actually going to give him $500, take $10 back, and then $210 for Mr. Wellington. Done. MSP just had a nice run, and MSP has a mountain of cash. So he will buy a 5 train for $475. So there's 450.75 right there. So let's put money in the bank. So we'll move it up on the stock track and get him his train. MSP moves up and he gets his 5 train. Next up is going to be MZA. MZA is a government company, so we don't have to worry about him buying a train. But MZA is happy because he has some brown tokens already in his area. So he's already been substantially upgraded. And what he's going to do is he's going to take the 2 Y cities that are still left. Those are the grand cities. And let's see, yeah, there we go. Gets everything into view. All right, so this one is a really particular one. It has one side that you can't use. And there is a token that has one side that doesn't go anywhere. So those are rare, and there's only so many spots that use them. And so you definitely want to take it. Now, one thing that's a newbie thing is you'll see players use that on Copenhagen. And if you really pay attention to Copenhagen, even though it has C-zones on multiple sides of it, it has those little knobbies that means you can point track into it. So you can actually use a full 6-star token on Copenhagen and don't want to use these. But you'll see newbies put these in Copenhagen thinking that they had to. And then, of course, that makes it even more rare if you're not smart enough to realize that's where it is. So don't let players do that. And per the rules, you get to take it from them because they mistakenly used the wrong type of token. So that's 2 points. And then this is just as bad. This is a K city that has 2 sides that are not allowable. That is also an extremely rare one. And there's only so many of these in the game. And MZA just got to suck up both of them. So that's a very turn order benefited him in this situation. That's a pure turn order thing. So that's 2, 4. We already have the double whistle stop, so don't have to worry about that. We could start upgrading these little cities, and in fact, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Or we can start upgrading whistle stops. It's really a tough choice. And then you have to sit down and think about the math again. So I'm pretty sure he has a 9x9, right? He can do 9 stops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he has to get 2 more cities. So why don't we do, we spent 4 track points. So we're going to spend 6, 8. We're going to spend 2 more upgrades on just regular cities because I think we need those. And I know the whistle stops are important, but these regular cities will get him more money. Well, actually, I think they're going to pay about the same. They do. So the whistle stops will give him 10 more bucks, and these cities will give him 10 more bucks. So the reason we're going to do the whistle stops is the whistle stops will help other companies. Now, hold on. This is Mr. Medici. He doesn't believe in helping other companies, so we're back. We're going to do these. So he's doing these because these won't help the other companies. So that's how he rolls. So we're going to get one up here. And just trying to find one for the other spot. That's as good as any. Okay, so that's his placement. And I think we already figured out his stops, so we're going to just punch them in. 60 for Chinsport, 80 for Madrid, 60 for MZA's original point. We have a 40, which is the red zone, that's Melilla. So it's a crappy one now. 60 for Casablanca, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops. 80 for North Africa, that's 6. And then 60 for Portugal is 7. And then 40 for 8 and 40 for 9. And then we do have 3 $20 whistle stops, so that's 60. And then we would have to add 60 more in $10 whistle stops. And I'm assuming he has at least one 3 train. So we're gonna add $30 for Pullman. So it's $670, but we gotta walk around and make sure we verify his trains. We never check to see what his trains are. We know for a fact he's going up on the stock track because he can't withhold or do anything crazy like that. And MKV will be next. So coming around, you can see it is exactly as we predicted. So it's $67 a share. Not quite as good. Actually, no, that is better than what I think England got. And that's the benefit of having red zones, right? All those red zones automatically upgraded. And somebody else already laid some brown tokens for him. So 67 a share times 6 is 402 for Medici. And I believe, yeah, we have 3 shares, so we get 201. So 402 for Medici and 201 for us. We're gonna come around and get the money here. $402 for Medici. And 200 and 1 for us. So that was a good money for buying those 3 shares. I mean, we spent $600 on those 3 shares, but to get $200 back already just as a payout, and they still went up in value on top of that. So we just went up 25, we got $75 just from moving up one spot. That's pretty good. Okay, MKV is next, and this is a government. So the government is doing great. MSP already helped them immensely. And we still have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, back up. MZA wants to buy a train from SFAI. We're going to buy this 3 train using the same logic as before. We think they're going to melt. And so that's $112 for SFAI. And I dropped it on the floor here. So there is a 3 train there, and there's also a 3 train on MAV, but that's the only train that those 2 companies have. So we're not going to buy their last train. We're going to let them have their last remaining train. If you're absolutely convinced that they're going to lose them anyways, buy it. I'm not absolutely convinced yet, so that's why I'm hesitating. And you know, it's an extra $100. So if they have no train, they will go backwards on the stock market, but then they can just buy a train with the money that they have, and that extra $100 you just gave them would help them. Now, I'm very quickly realizing that I forgot to go with the C company. And the C company is RCP. So I will do that. We should do that now. So we were supposed to do that a long time ago. So the C company is RCP because they have that ability to go first. And they wanted to go first because they think these trains are going to melt. So I'm moving them up because I'm pretty sure they're going to hit their number. Now, we have to bear in mind that these two Y cities did not exist for RCP. And so when he's spending his points to upgrade tiles, we could do that, and then we'll just upgrade something else for what Medici would do. So this does impact Medici's numbers, and I'm not going to go back and fix it. It's just too much work. But we're fine. One of the things RCP is going to do is upgrade Amsterdam. We know that for a fact. And Amsterdam is up here. And by upgrading that, that is another one of those rare spots. So that's for 2 of his points. And RCP only has a 3 train. Oh, he has a 3 plus 3 and just a regular 3. So, so with his regular, so he can do an OE run with just his regular 3. Yeah, he will. He's going to spend $125 and do an OE run. The $125 is to get the South Seas token. So the OE run is going to be Madrid to this Chin City. So he would have upgraded the Chin City. So that means Medici didn't need to spend 2 points on that. So the reason I'm saying Medici is going to be shortchanged a little bit of dollars, and we should actually, the math won't be that bad. So I'll explain why. He still gets to do 4 more track points, and what he's going to do is he's going to upgrade whistle stops. So this one, for example, and we have an empty tray here. So we finally got a green whistle stop again. And this increases Medici's numbers by $10. And then this here would increase it by 10 more. So there's an extra $2 a share for Medici. So 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 6 shares. So that's an extra $12 for him. So I'll just grab the $12 and put it on the board. And it's an extra $6 for us. We better not spend all that in one place. So there, we were able to correct the math, no problem. And for this guy, he's actually going to get his first OE run in, which is fantastic. So we have Madrid for 80, Constantinople for 80, and then a $60 bonus for Constantinople, and then 60 for the port city here. And I can't do that. Any guesses? Right here, it's blocked. So SFR, I'm sorry, this is RCP. RCP is unable to do that run. Now we can come out of this port down here, but then we need one more C zone. We don't have that yet. We will have it when we get to gray tech level, but we're not there. So then the question becomes, okay, can we do something over here? Because we have a token up there now. We have C's Amsterdam token, and the answer is unlikely because Berlin is completely filled. And let's say I go from Berlin to Constantinople, I need to at least go through one token that belongs to me. Now, can I put a token in Poland? And the answer would be sure, except there's not a path I can take from RCP to Poland that isn't blocked. So I'm screwed. Now I can do Paris and come down to Plum here. See this little Plum city? I can do that. I would have to reverse 2 of my track points, and Medici would not get paid as much money. And then I would have to buy a token in Plum. I do have access to Plum, or do I? Don't I? No, I don't, because I can't go through France. See, I'm up there. I can come down through Belle and into Paris, but see, Paris doesn't go straight through yet. It has that loop-de-loop thing. So I can't go from Paris down to Plum. I don't have a connection. So I could spend a whole bunch of track points to try to get a connection. The long story short is we're not going to get a OE run. End of story. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to go from Birmingham to London to Amsterdam for our 3 train. There's no pluses on this one. And then we're gonna go do this Casablanca, which is, actually we have a South Seas token, so we're gonna do, what should we do? Yeah, we're gonna do North Africa for 80. And this is a 3+3. And then Portugal for 60, and then Madrid for 80. And then we get $60 in double whistle stops, right, in the whistle stops that he upgraded. So, yeah, 20, 40, 60. So there we go, 51 a share for RCP. And he has 5 shares of RCP, so we'll divide it by 2. That's $2.55 each. So $255 for De Gaulle. And $2.55 for the company. So the company $400 and 75. That buys him a train, and he's definitely buying a train. That's the whole reason he wanted to go first. And I apologize, I kept forgetting to go first with him. He wanted to go first so he can be one of the people that gets a train. So that makes up for the fact that DSJ couldn't get a train. So we're back to thinking that all 7 is going to be bought. So now we're going to go do MKB's government run. And it's a lot of upgrades. So he gets 9 track points. All the Y cities are done. So it behooves us to do the double whistle stops then. Always think in terms of rarity. Do the rare ones first. And so he's going to do the one that helps everybody on his team. Here. That's a big one. And he does have one here it doesn't help anybody but him. But it is one to try. Problem is he has to spend 2 points to go to green and then 2 more points to go to brown. So that would be 4 of his points, and I don't know if that's a good use of his track points. He does need 9 cities, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He is going to need at least 1 other city upgraded, so we're going to just go ahead and upgrade the one that Lizard's sitting on. And of course the tokens are way the other end of the table. There's a lot of K cities. I'm not too worried about that. Oh, crap. I don't know if you can see what I just did. There's a city right here, and this was just sitting like that, and I thought it was a tile that needed to be put away because it was just sitting all by itself. So that's 4, and then let's do 6, 8, 10, or 6, 8, which is, we're gonna do some whistle stops, and we'll do the single ones, not the double ones. And we're gonna try to do the ones that are on the way, on the route. So let's check this one. There's one way over here. I was checking to see if it's in the Russia, and it is. So, except that's a yellow one. Let's do the green ones first. So we're gonna do the ones over here by Moscow. So that would be 6, and this would be 8. So let's just take those off. And looking in here, we can get an easy one there. And then there we go. Like so. All right, it is a 9 plus 9. Finland, St. Petersburg, Arkhangelsk for 3, Moscow for 4, Warsaw for 5, the MKV spot for 6, Kharkov for 7, Sevastopol for 8, and then this Lizard spot we just upgraded for 9. And then we have a $40 whistle stop for the lumber, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 times 20. So that's 5, and then we need 4 more, plus $40 for more. 720, and then we have a $30 Pullman, so $75 a share. And he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shares, so $450 for MKV. I'm gonna just go grab some money. I'm gonna grab, let me just set these off to the side. I'm gonna grab another whole tray here for $100, $200, $450 for Mr. Troikovsky. And yes, now he gets to buy trains. And here's a wonderful position. MSP already went and benefited from this 3 train, and now he gets to sell it. That's the perfect situation. is to do that. And we can give $112 to MSP, which we just did. MKV can buy a 3 train from Blizzard, and I think that's another good option. So $112 to Lizard. And, yep, there's his hundreds right there. So the big thing there is, yeah, it might hurt Lizard a little bit, but I don't think Lizard's gonna get to see 3 trains by the time it's his turn. So, and he really needs money. He only has like $200 there. He has a big stack of small bills, but that's really good. I think Tchaikovsky's having an excellent round. Okay, so his stock is going to go up. We have 2 more trains that get added to the rust pile, and he goes up. KBS is us, and that is a good thing. We do like being able to go. And here's the thing, we need to really consider if we want to have a government company or not. And if KBS is going to be the government company, now's the time. We make our move, we make a bunch of money, and then what I can do is I can buy a 3 train from DSJ and just give all my money to DSJ. So he would have no money. And yes, he's Germany, and Germany has a lot of work to do as a government company, but this 3 train won't rust, and he can actually buy the 3 trains from these other companies. It's not a bad idea. I did tell you, I don't think Germany's a great place, but the good news is Germany's already been upgraded in Berlin, and then Amsterdam's been upgraded. Now there's a few Y-City spots that don't even have a tile, but 6 track points have already been spent there, which helps the government. And so what I'm going to do is spend 6 more, of course, and it's going to be 100% on Germany. Because I'm going to plan for... Now the one thing that stinks is I did give that... I gave the Port Authority the Star Harbor to KBS, so KBS can go through Hamburg and skip it and then count London as part of its route. That part is unfortunate. I would have rather given that to DSJ if that was the case. The other thing is I could still just give it to SB, but I don't think SB is going to get to take his turn before then, and that's what I'm concerned about. But anyways, for track upgrades, we're going to upgrade Germany for sure. So first one is here for 2. And then Hamburg for 4. And of course, Mr. Wellington is very grateful for that. And then, see, this one here costs $30. That one costs $30, so I would have to wait until I'm a government, and I would just be spending, see, 2 points for the yellow, 4 points for the green, so that'd be 6. And then 2 more points for brown is 8, and then one of them would stay green. So I wouldn't even have enough track points to... So what I'll do is I'll spend the $30 and get at least one of them going, because the government wouldn't be able to. And unfortunately, if I put a curve here, I can't get to there all in one turn, because I've already spent 4 track points, and that's the 5th one. I only have 1 more track point, and I don't want to spend another $30, but this would be a really great place to put a spot too. But you know what? He does have a lot of money, so I'll spend $30. And I'm going to put out the Y City, not the double whistle stop. Oh, actually, I can't. This one over here, the one over in Königsberg, a government can do that, but I can't because I don't have track connected to it. I can go over the C, but then I have to pay a penalty. So it really will be a double whistle stop. And if I were to become a government, this is just helping to get the government off the ground, but I did just spend $60 to do that. It's not a really lucrative idea. KBS has a 4-train, a 3-train, and a Pullman. You know what? It's a bad idea. I'm going to take these 2 back and give myself my $60 back. This is my dilemma. I'm just in such a pickle. It really is beneficial to have a government company, but I still have 2 track points, and I could upgrade at least this for my 2, and I will. I'll do that. We should have a green double whistle stop now, and we do. So I'll get that up there. Or you know what, I'm taking it back. I'm not going to have a government. I'm going to help SB, because if SB is going to be my government, I might as well help him, right? So let's get an upgrade in Austria-Hungary to help SB out. So, okay, that's my final answer. All right, to do Constantinople to Berlin, if I go through Warsaw, that's a 3-stop route. And my apologies. I'm taking this away since I'm not planning on doing government with him. That's not worth it. And what I'm going to do with those 2 track points is I'm coming down here and doing the plan that I told you all along, and that is that's 1, and that's 2, and we're using our last mountain to do that for free. So this is an $80 stop. So that's 1 stop for 80. Constantinople is 80 and then 60 for the bonus. So that's 2 stops. And I can do a 7 + 7 or a 4 + 4 and a 3 + 3. Okay, so I'm going to follow my mountain trail and I get to Vienna. I can skip the one that Mav is in. I get to Vienna for my 3rd stop of $80. But remember, I have to get to Berlin, but that's okay. Everything's open for me. And I can go around München there and get to Berlin in 4 stops. And so Berlin is a $90 city, and I did that in 4 stops. I can also use the ferry here instead of taking the track, and that would get me a $20 whistle stop. And then of course everything else is just $10 whistle stops because I don't think I upgraded anything else. So it'd be 30 more. So for my 4-train, I got a $440 run. So now I'm going to add Berlin again for 90. I'm going to skip Hamburg because now I'm doing my 3+3. And I'm going to go into London for 90 more. And then Birmingham for 80 more. And then $30 more there in whistle stops. And remember, I have a North Seas token. So I can do that. And that puts me at 730, and then I'm going to add 40 for the Pullman. That's a $77 run. I'm pretty happy with that. $77 a share. I'm going to put this down. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shares. So 77 times 7 is $539. That's pretty good. I have this token, which is a $500 token. I'm going to use that. And give me $40. And take $1 back. I'm putting $500 back in the bank. And I'm taking a $1,000 token and putting the $500 back. So we are sitting on $1,000. That's really impressive. Now KBS still has 3 of his own shares. So 77 times 3 is 231 for KBS. That's good money. And he will take the 231, of course. He doesn't have enough to go bonkers with trains, but he can buy a 5 train. And the question is, should he? And I think the answer is yes. So this is 475. And so, yeah, another 5 train is gone. And so he is able to buy up to his trade limit. If SB were to ever go, I might go government with him and then, of course, buy that, but I don't think it's going to last that long. So MZA moves up, and now it's Chin's turn. Okay, Chin did do his OE run, and he needs to think about what he wants to do. He's in Spain, of course, and I think that is the only place Chin is at. Yes, it is, because we're planning on going government with Chin. So that's what de Gaulle's plan is. So I'm looking at Chin's train. He has a 4 and a 3. So, yeah, we're going to have to do some... The good news is he can go around now. Remember, this used to be blocked by K and all that stuff? So, he can also just upgrade whistle stops. So 2, 4, and 6. So that's just an easy, just do 3 whistle stops. They do need to be done, and they are going to help everybody. There's a whole bunch of these in this game. I don't know why all of a sudden there's so many, but it's like, here we go. And to does this help him? Nope. Need another one of those chicken foots. Here we go. Okay, so that was his 246, and like I said, he has a 4-train and a 3-train. So he can't do Israel, because remember, we have it blocked unless he's willing to pay the mountain fee, and he's not. So what he's going to do, and De Gaulle's very happy, because remember, we want to go government with this. So De Gaulle is going to buy trains from his other companies and give them all of his money. So that's his plan. And RCP's already gone, and so he can buy trains from RCP and give all of his money to him. It's a wonderful arrangement. So we're going to do 80 for Constantinople plus 60, and then 60 for the port here, and then 80 for Madrid. That's a 3-train route, but we're gonna go 4 trains. Yes, no. I'm thinking. We're going to stop there. And he gets one. See, that's only one whistle stop. So yeah, we're going to add Portugal to this for 60, and then that allows him to add $60 in whistle stops plus another $10 for the 4th whistle stop for 410. But now we got to do a 3 run, and that's not going to be easy. But we can't start in Portugal. That's the problem. But we can start again over at this port. So from one port for 60 to the other port for 60, and then we're going to have to grab probably just a $40 city. Or we want whistle stops. So we're going to have to grab a $30 city and then 3 whistle stops for $30. So maybe it's 6 or 1/2 dozen, but that's a $59 a share run, which isn't bad. It's not as great as some of those other ones you saw, but he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shares, so 59 times 6 is 354 for De Gaulle. So I'm giving him 355. And just to put it in perspective, De Gaulle does not have $1,000, but we did run 2 of our companies, and he's only running his 2nd one right now. But and then Chin still owns its own shares, so 59 times 4 is 236. Okay, so now you can only have 3 trains as a major. And so he is going to buy a train, and he's going to buy it from RCP, because RCP is the perfect company. He's already gone. Don't ever buy this, because this is permanently this way, and even if the government buys it, it doesn't get to count the whistle stops. So let that rust. This, however, is the perfect purchase. And we only have room for 1 train anyways, because he has 2. So we're going to buy a 3rd one, and we're going to buy it with all of our money. So all this money is going to RCP. And I'm just sorting it so it's a little bit easier for us. So boom, he just bought it for a lot of money. The taxpayers are very upset, but that's what shenanigans is. Okay, so getting ready for government. That's really what this is. We won't need these tokens anymore, but we'll worry about that when he becomes government. Next up is Plum. So we were talking about how they might be buying these permanent 5 trains, but you'll notice that he didn't buy a permanent 5 train because it was more valuable to cross-buy and get rid of his cash. And Plum might do the same thing, but here's the dilemma. Bell only has 1 3 train, and that's it. And Bell, where is Bell? Bell is one of the last companies in the game to get to go. So, in fact, BHB is dead last. He's second to dead last. It's not looking good for him. I know Mav has a giant stack of cash. I know SB has a giant stack of cash. So if we're talking about who's going to buy those 5 trains, those two are going to buy 5 trains. Lizard already bought his 5 train, so he may not buy one. Lawnmower has a giant stack of cash, and I think SFR and SFAI do, and we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trains. So if those two buy one, so that's 2, 3, 4, and then SB would be the one that would trigger the 6 train, which is perfect, except SB might go government and he would not buy the 6 train. So there is actually there is now a great chance that it will last until Bell. Wow. Okay, well, let's think about this. And so we're going to move to Plum. Plum has a 4 and a 3. We get to do upgrades. And Plum is thinking about becoming a government in France. So it's very important that he only upgrades France. This one here is one of those really tricky Y cities. And in fact, I'm worried we might not have one left for him. And sure enough, we don't. So he's already screwed here. There are no K cities for Y. He needs one that doesn't allow 2 borders, and there's not one that exists. So he's already unable to do that. And then if you look up here, that's another one. So Amsterdam took one, and then MZA took one for their zone, and France is actually becoming a very bad place to be a government because the 2 Y cities that France has is not upgradable at this point. That's awful. That's really, really awful. We'll at least get the double whistle stop. For 2. We can at least upgrade this Y city for 4. And another whistle stop for 6. Okay, so he has a 4 and a 3. So if he goes from Paris, that's 1. Plum is 60. The port is 40 that he can't upgrade. And then 80 plus 60 for Constantinople would be 4. So that would be his 4 train. And that's $320. Now Plum is probably going to have to buy a token because he needs to stop. He has to run another train somewhere. We could leave Plum like we've been doing and go into Italy. That still works, except Italy is not upgraded at all. That is actually probably still the best thing he can do. He doesn't have access to northern France yet because Paris is blocking him unless he spends track points going to there. So yeah, he's stuck doing green trains. So de Gaulle is being hosed here. 40 plus 30 plus 40. And he is, however, able to get 3 whistle stops from that. So that's 30. And then we can get 1, 2, 3 upgraded whistle stops here for 60. And then a regular one for 10. So that's 53 a share. And de Gaulle has 6 shares. So he gets $318. I'm giving him $320. And Plum has 4 shares, so that's $212 for him. Okay, Bell is one of the worst performing companies in the game. That part is true. We know that Plum is going to go government. Now there is a way you can buy tokens. That's what the transfer tokens thing is. So we can buy a token from Bell. The problem is Bell only has 1 token on the entire board. The other thing we can do is we can buy these Port Authority tokens from other companies. And Bell doesn't have one of those either. That would have been nice because we could have just give our money. And the reason I'm coming up with all these other ideas is because I don't want to buy that 3 train from Bell. I could have used this, I think, to give Plum some more money. And my mistake there. And then I could have used this to put a token out for free for Plum. And that was a huge mistake on my part. In fact, I'm just going to give $50 extra to each of them because I don't want to go back and redo the math. But I should have done this to put out a token. And so I will. Let's figure out where I could have put a Plum token that would have made me a lot more money. And the answer is simple. I would have put it in France just further up, like so. And you might think, well, hold on a second, you don't have access. I do. I can go into the sea zone and go all the way around Spain and come in through Normandy. Now, that would have been extremely expensive, except this special thing is that I get to lay my token for free. So I'm laying it for free. And that's what the special ability of that private is. And so I at least put it in Paris, and then I would have been able to run through Bell and into London, which would have made me a lot more money. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. And could have upgraded track up there. There's all kinds of stuff I probably could have done if I was thinking about it. The debate, so if I buy that 3 train from Bell, I am for sure going backwards on the stock board. And it's going to be worth even less money than it already is. De Gaulle is not in a good spot. obviously when I do an OE run, that'll rectify itself, but even after, if it goes backwards one spot, even after an OE run, it's only going to be one spot better than the Warsaw one that Russia has. Oh, I don't want to waste this money. This money needs to be given away. I could buy that 3 train from RCP, and then I'm just giving RCP a ton of my money. You know what, there's not much to do. De Gaulle's losing the game. We're going to give him all of our money so he can buy himself a beautiful train, but he's just going to have to go back one on the stock board because he's not going to have a train when it's his turn. You know what? We're going to do that and buy the Pullman from him. That's what we're going to do. And then the Pullman will just go away when he becomes a government. We can do that. Okay, so problem solved. I'm at 1 hour and 30. It's really late, so I'm going to call it. I am very doubtful I'm going to finish this game. I'm just going to say that right now. We're at the 5 trains, and it is getting extremely slow because you're seeing how much more complex. There's a lot of player interaction going on now, and that's the part I want you to feel, that there's a lot of player interaction, because when you're playing this with other players, that is happening at this stage. When you play multiplayer, you will get blocked more than what you're seeing me do here. I tend to play a kinder game, so if you're playing against me, I usually don't block people as much. You will see me clog up Berlin, and you will see me go after Constantinople like that, but I'm not necessarily in the business of blocking people just to block them. I think there's some interesting things that are playing out. We have a dilemma because we don't have a government company. And so I'm stuck with these trains that are going to rust on me. And so I will eventually have a few rounds where I'm not going to make good money. So right now I'm sitting with $1,000 and I'm like, yeah. But that's only because I just had this mammoth run. I'm not going to get this every round. There's some really interesting things in this game, even though I'm playing all sides, that I still don't know who's winning. That's what's amazing about it. And I think when you're playing a multiplayer, you're also going to feel the same way. De Gaulle is losing. I can tell you that without much debate. Everybody else, however, I'm not as sure about. I think Wellington has some wonderful companies, and you're going to see him start to make more and more money every round. Lawnmower hasn't gone yet, and you're going to see Lawnmower make just tons of money. I made $104 a share with DSJ. You're going to see Lawnmower do the same. And that is going to add up because there's still a few more rounds before this game ends, and that's just compounded interest that Wellington's going to gain on us. He's probably winning every single round now. He's behind us now. We probably have an edge on him, but he's going to be getting more money than us every round. So the longer this game lasts, the more he's going to win. I think the Russian company is solid, but I don't think he's winning. I could be wrong. And the beautiful part about him is he owns 4 companies. I only own 3. So he's going to have an edge on me in terms of share value. And then Medici has nothing but wonderful stocks. Every stock that he has, except for MAV, is highly valuable stock. So he's playing his game right. I think we are edging him out on cash, but I still think he's doing fantastic. So I might play a few more rounds tomorrow. The work week is starting up again. So that's another thing that's going to slow me down. And I want to get more games to the table and record those. My goal here was to play this through and show you all the rules. You're seeing them all. Once that 6th train is bought, we're going to go through another phase of choosing whether or not you go government. And I'm trying to explain what I'm thinking every time I go. And anyways, that was Plum's turn. So when it comes back to us, we're going to be taking, Medici's going to be doing SFR and SFAI. Let's actually check, because here's my concern. I really do think that the 6th train is going to be bought this round. But it's going to largely be dependent on what these two companies do. They've both done an OE run, and they both have a ton of cash. One, two, that's $500 right there. So that's a 5 train. That's $500 for another 5 train. So I think they're going to be both buying a 5 train. So that part, they're going to make a pittance. So Medici's actually going to have a really bad round. I mean, a 3 train and a 4 train, that's it. The good news is he's going to get to run that 3 train before it melts. But they're both going to have very bad rounds. They both have the potential to become government, and I think my strategy with him is to have all governments, and this is the only company. And I was actually going to buy both of these trains because his stock value is not very good, and we know that, and I don't think he cares. He's going to make this the only company that's actually running and operating outside of a government, because he wants to just basically get cash and move up in these ones in stock. Because as a government company, you always pay out, and you're either going to not move at all or you're going to move forward, and I guarantee you they're always moving forward. It's really hard for them not to. So Medici will buy 2. Lawnmower, look, see that big stack of hundreds? Lawnmower has room for 1 more train. He will be buying a 3rd. So we are positive that 3 of those 5 trains are going to go. So that's 3 of them. And then there's just 1 more left. So if those 3 go, I can guarantee you Mav is going to buy 1. So that's all 4 of them. So then you have Lizard and SB both going before Bell. WW is a government, so don't worry about him. Bell, of course, is a company, and so is BHB, but BHB goes dead last. BHB's in trouble. BHB only has a 3 train, so BHB is going to get hosed. And we sort of knew that, and that's pretty much going to be confirmed. So, coming back to Lizard. See, Lizard already bought a 5 train. And he does have money, but it's just a big stack of little numbers. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's 100. So we're looking at 300, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Maybe he's got a couple. So 390, 490. It costs $475 to get another train. So it's possible he could buy a second 5th train, or a second 5 train, which would then cause Mav to be the one that buys the 6th train. And Mav would buy the 6th train, without a doubt. He's got the money, and this 3 train is going to be gone. The thing with Lizard is he would be spending everything he has. He is going to make money from his run, so he might make $200. And so that'll help. offset the cost of the 475. But the thing is, this Lizard is in great shape. And after the 6th train is purchased, the Lizard is going to be forced to go down to 2 trains. So if he has this 4 train and then 2 5 trains, he's actually going to be forced to get rid of this 4 train, and he's only going to get paid for it. That's a very bad move. So now that I think about it some more, Lizard is for sure not going to buy a train. He has room for one, but as soon as the 6 train's bought, he's going to have to get rid of one of them, and that's $350 lost. Plus, this money, he wants to save it so he can buy, one of those gray trains, which is the higher level ones. So Mav for sure will buy the last 5 train, and then it gets to SB. SB is our company, and we're planning on going government with SB, if you remember. So if we go government with SB, we're not going to buy that train either. Now, SB does have the money to buy the train, though. But we may not buy it either. And so then RCP is already gone. So that's the next company. Coming back over to here. So SB won't buy one. RCP isn't going to buy one. WW is a government. So then it really will get to Bell, and Bell will have a chance to buy one. So, and Bell definitely would be the one to buy one. So BHB is going to get screwed. That's how this is going to play out this round. With SB wanting to become a government, if you look over here, we do have some whistle stops. There's a whole bunch of Austria-Hungary that's barely even developed. So we would have to spend a heck of a lot of track points just to get these cities in. SB has one of those nasty 3s, but we can always do one run with it, and then after the 3s are melted, we can always trade this in for one of the other 3s. So that is an option. But what we would do is we would buy a 3+3 from probably KBS or DSJ, because DSJ doesn't have a lot of, DSJ has a lot of money now, but we have to buy 2 trains with DSJ, and KBS still has shares that we can buy, so it'll get money from its shares. So anyways, this stack of money would go probably to DSJ, and we'd buy the 3 train from DSJ, and then he would be all set up for his government run, and he already did an OE run, and his stock value is not that high, and it's never going to be very high. So it's our weaker link. So why not make it a government? Now here's the thing, government at the end of the game doesn't make as much money. But rather than trying to have 3 companies that are all premium, I would rather give SB the government, because when he buys trains, he gets a 10% discount. So he's going to be in great shape. When he half-capped, he got a lot of money. And if he gets all of that money, I think he's going to be set. It's actually KBS after that point that we're going to worry about. But I think, with half-capping and other stuff, we can get KBS what it needs. So that's how this will play out. And like I said, I might be done. So I'm just saying to you how this round will go. Everybody's going to be making money. I honestly don't know who's winning. In my opinion, it's Medici or me. And Wellington is on our heels. But Wellington is going to get screwed with this BHB situation. BHB's 3 train is going to melt, and that stock is going to go backwards. So it's already the lowest stock in the game, and it's going to go backwards. He will get to do an OE run, which will make his stock go back forwards again, but it's going to be too little too late with BHB. So when the game ends, there's 2 ways the game ends. One is somebody buys an 8 train, another one is you run out of bank money. I never bothered telling you how much bank money you need to have, because I've played this game easily 40 times in my life so far. I have played this game probably more than any other game, and it's a 9-hour game. So you would think that I would play it less, but I play it so much. I love this game. We've never bankrupted the bank. It's a ridiculously high amount of money. It's like 18 grand. I don't remember, 20 some grand. It's a ridiculously high amount of money. The game ends when somebody buys an 8 train. We talked about it. The only way this game would end if you bankrupt is if there's shenanigans going on and people are refusing to buy more trains. And so then you're just having round after round, and it's just, going on, and people are refusing to buy the next train. If that was the case, then yes, you would have to bankrupt the bank. But this bank is so large, there's no bankruptcy going on. It's when somebody buys the 8 train. So now there's 2 scenarios. If you buy the 8 train in operating round 1, then you, I think, just finish operating round 1 and then do operating round 2 and you're done. I have to check. I always have to check. If you finish it in operating round 2, or if you buy that train in operating round 2, we actually do a stock round, and then we do what's called a double round, where you don't get to lay track, you don't get to do anything, you just basically collect revenue twice. So you just figure out what your route's going to be, and you just collect double the money. And the reasoning is, why else would you buy an 8 train? If the game ends immediately, if you buy an 8 train, you never get to use it. So the rules are set up where you buy an 8 train, you're going to, at minimum, get to use it 2 more times. And so the other thing with the rules that you haven't seen, because you don't see it until gray, is there's these doublers. So I can buy a 7+7, or I can buy a 4D. So the way a 4D works is I pick 4 cities, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have to be on a route. I can't skip cities, of course, unless I have tokens that let me. And I don't count whistle stops at all. But whatever those 4 cities are worth, you add them up and then you double it. So it's just like going to 8 cities. Super powerful. If I'm doing New York, London, Birmingham, and then Sweden, because I can skip, maybe Scotland. That's 4 cities. That's getting me, $500, and then I double it, and I'm making $1,000 just off of 4 cities. And this is 1 train. I can actually have 2 of them. Or I can have a 7+7 on one and then a 4D on the other. So, because you can always have 2 trains with your major. The other thing is the 8 train has a 5D on the back, and it's $1,000. So big time money to be made when you're connecting to 5 cities and then doubling it. Levant 120. This one will be 100. If we could skip Warsaw, we can go to Berlin for 120. I mean, that's 3 cities right there. And I have Star Harbor, so I can skip this and I can go to London for 120 and that for 100. There's my 5 cities right there. That's my route for KBS. So, is that 120, 220, 320, 340, 440, 460. That's 560 times 2. So that's an amazing amount of money, and that's 1 train. I get to own 2 trains. So for 1 train, I'm making 1,060, and then whatever my second train makes is on top of that. So KBS is set up to make amazing money at the end. I need to have $1,000 though, and that's the thing. I'm at $500. So that's the other option is, maybe since DSJ has so much hundreds, I give this big stack to KBS. Those are the things you have to consider. All right, that's it. I do love this game. I may find the energy to do more, but I had some time off work and now I have to go back. And I am very tired. This is a lot of work to do by yourself. This is not meant to be played by yourself per se. Only the insane people do that. But anyways, I'm going to end here with SFR's turn coming up next. And if I do continue, that is exactly where we will begin. Thanks for watching.